So I've already opened up my Drainage and Utilities DGN library, and I'm going to add to my catalogue conduit. So let's just pick this circular pipe, and I'm just going to come in and we'll add 100mm conduit. So there's my extra conduit. Let's just close that down. I'm going to come into the prototypes, and you can see there's the extra conduit that's been added. So that's available in the prototype. Come down to the standards, let's just check that. Look at our feature definitions. There's the feature definition, and there's the prototype. So again, if I just came to layout a conduit and we just look at our list, you can see that's also been updated to reflect the change. So I've now updated the DGN library. If I now go and create a new file or open up an existing file, we can now use that conduit. So I've now just opened up a file that I'd previously created, and this was prior to the DGN library update. So to make sure that I can update this drawing and use the new feature definition with the new conduit catalog, I need to come into this file. I need to right click on the file and update standards from DGN library. So once that's complete, I'll be able to go in the components. Let's just check that the catalog conduit catalog has updated, and we can see that there's the 100mm diameter pipe available. I can check the prototypes to see if that's also been updated. Okay, I'm just checking there. There's the 100mm, and of course the feature definition. Just look at that, and we can see that there's the prototype. Now to prove this, I can just come into layout, place a conduit, and if we pick the appropriate feature definition, we can look at the drop down, and there's that 100mm pipe available for use. So we can see that's all working. I'm now going to go back into the DGN library and we'll start looking at the libraries. So another way to manage this, rather than going into the conduit catalog to add the individual extra conduits required, what we could do is we could come into here, and I'm going to export this catalog. So I'm just going to come into export to library. I'm going to pick the conduits library. Let's just expand that now. Note this is called circular CMP, whereas the one that's already in this library is called circle CMP. So I'm going to come in, select the folder circle, and we'll now come into that library. So I'm going to close that down. We'll open up the catalogue engineering libraries, and if we come into circle, you can see there is that circular exported library. So what I can now do is, rather than opening up the library through the conduits, I'm in the engineering libraries, and I'm going to add a couple of extra pipes here. So there's my 100mm and 200mm diameters added. I can now just check that again to see that they're still in there. They are, so I'm going to OK that. We'll close the engineering library down. If we come back into the catalogue now, conduit catalogue, what I can now do, I select the circular CMP. We can come in and we can synchronize from the library, and you can now see those two extra diameters have now been added to this. And again, we can use this DGN library in the project, and we're controlling this now via that engineering library. So two ways to add and utilize extra conduits in your library. So back in that original drawing now, I can come down to my standards. Let's right click and update standards from DGN library. Come up to the catalogue now. Let's look at the conduit catalogue. There's the extra pipes added there. The same will be reflected in the prototypes, and you can see we're now able to use those pipes in this active file and in this project.